Google Calendar integration. A few things I want to lay out up front, let you guys know that the Google Calendar integration, what we are putting in place, is the ability for you to sync with the Magazine Manager your Google Calendar that you've created in a Google account. If you do not yet have a Google account, you must first set up a Google account, set up a calendar, or have a calendar in that Google account, have your username and your password in order to integrate that Google Calendar here in the Magazine Manager. That's very, very important. If you don't have a Google account yet, you don't have a Google Calendar yet, then you don't really have anything to integrate here. So if you want to use that integration in the Google Calendar into here, and we'll look at a couple of places where that can be beneficial and how other devices can have calendars and stuff. I'm going to look at that here in a minute. But just to let you know, up front, we're going to be putting in place and we're going to be supporting the Google Calendar integration into the Magazine Manager. I'm going to go ahead and click on today's date from the Google Calendar, from the Magazine Manager calendar here. I'm just going to click on the 18th. You'll notice that everything looks a lot different as far as the calendar. You're going to have the day view. You're going to have a week view available. You can have the 2-week view available. You can have the month view available. All right, we're used to having this come up in the month view. So I'm going to look at the week view right now. This is how and I'm just going to keep flipping back and forth a lot. This is my professional Google Calendar account. Whenever I support my clients and I tell you guys, take a look at my calendar, see what's available, let's put you on the calendar. This is my Google Calendar. I use this every day, day in and day out, to track appointments and to track everything I have to do. But the thing is, when you first come in, if you are not connected to the Google Calendar sync, you have to press this button in the upper left-hand corner here to connect. Now, whenever you connect, you're going to have this, this dialog pop up. Pay close attention, because if you're logged into Google and any other web page in the web browser, it may not be the Google account that you want to synchronize. So just make sure up here in the upper right-hand corner that this is, in fact, the Google account that you want to synchronize your calendar with. All right? And this is the account I want to sync with. And this is saying, hey, give us permission. We want to, create this connectivity in the background. And yep, this is what I want. You press accept. Now, the very first time you do this, you will have to put in your Google username and your Google password here. You got to have the username and password in order to authenticate and create this connection. All right, so go ahead and press accept. And once it accepts and once it does its handshaking thing and starts figuring out who's who and what's what, we notice that we're waiting for the site, and we're actually going to come in here and it's going to actually refresh. All right, and we are still down here. The first time you do this, it's going to take a couple of seconds. It's transferring data. It's getting all these appointments that you have. It's loading. It's here, and we're connected. We're synced. Okay, this is the same week view. If you want to pay attention to these things, I have the 1:30, then 3 o'clock little testing I put in there earlier. It's the same items. These are the same items I have over here on my regular Google Calendar. Just to prove to you this is not smoke and mirrors, this stuff really does work, I'm going to open up, let's see, Saving Safari, I have a 4:30, I don't want to open up that one. Let me just do it this way. I'm going to add a new event to my Google Calendar. So I'm going to click here, and here's the add event. I clicked on Thursday the 17th at 9 a.m., and that's what comes up, Thursday 17th, 9 a.m. And this is going to be my very first test item, okay? And I can go ahead and save here, or I can edit some details. Let's go into some greater details here and see. You can put in a reminder. We're going to talk about reminders here in a second here, but you can put in a reminder. The meeting type, this meeting type is actually populated from the meeting types and activities that you have set up in the website setup here. So this, you should be familiar with this list. We're going to have a manager sales meeting, okay? We're going to put a note in here. This is a really important closing meeting, okay? Putting a note in here, location, teleconference, stuff like that, all right? I'm going to go ahead and save this meeting. Now this meeting is loading, refreshing. This is where it's sending stuff back and forth to Google, it's doing its thing. And our meeting is right here, Thursday 17th, 9 a.m., very first test item. Let's go over to Google. See what happens on Thursday at 9 a.m. All right, in here right now, but let's refresh this page. Refresh the web page in Google. Take a look at what I see here. 9 to 10, very first test item. It's synced. It's in Google now. It's also in Magazine Manager. If I click it open, here's that teleconference I put in. Here's that note I put in. Here's everything. Let's say we don't want it 9 to 10. We want it 9 to 12, 9 to 1, because we're going to include a work lunch, a power lunch, as a kind of a, hey, welcome aboard, let's have lunch. So I'm going to save the change in Google Calendar. Made this thing now from 9 to 1. Go back to Magazine Manager Calendar. And I'm just going to go ahead and refresh the calendar here by pressing the Refresh Tab button up here in the upper right-hand corner. And it's going to take a second to refresh. It loads, and there's my 9 to 12. So if I set it up in here, it syncs to Google. I set it up or change it in Google, syncs to here. It's all really, really good stuff. So let's use this as a real sales rep is going to use this. So we're going to our client, the Magazine Manager. It's not going to be the magazine, it's going to be magazine. There we go. All right, so let's go to our client, the Magazine Manager, all right? I'm going to go ahead in here, and this Mark fella, I like working with him. He seems to be a pretty easy guy. He says yes to all the money and everything. So I'm going to set up a meeting with Mark. So I'm going to set up a meeting here. And the meeting type is going to be a cold call because he's brand new, but I hear he's a good guy. And I'm going to set up this meeting for today, later today, at 6 p.m. It's going to be a dinner conference meeting, okay? All right, here's the meeting. Save the information. So the information is saved. I now have a meeting on the client record. All right, cold call meeting, talk about stuff. So let's go back to, and this is supposed to be on 10/18 at 6 p.m. So let's go back to my calendar here, and I want to refresh my tab here, refresh my calendar, make sure it shows up. And 10/18, 6 p.m. Let's let it load and refresh. Here's my 6 p.m. meeting that I added through the company record, through the contact record. I added to set up a meeting like I would schedule any other meeting. Shows up on my meeting list here. Go to my home tab, refresh my home tab. My meeting for today at 6 p.m. shows up here like we're used to seeing it. It's everywhere here. Okay. Come in here to my Google Calendar tab, and I'm about to throw you guys a really cool curveball here in a second. Check this out. I'm going to refresh my tab here. Click scroll down here. It's in Google. There's my 6 p.m. meeting. All right. Now, I'm an iPhone user, so I like to have and I do in real life, I have my work calendar synchronized with my iPhone. So I'm right now turning on my iPhone. I have this thing called Air Server where I can display my iPhone on the screen here. And now you're looking at my iPhone. I just picked up my iPhone, didn't do anything else with it. But here's my calendar. Notice the bottom row, Friday 18. This is the standard iCal. This is the standard calendar application that's built in iOS. I'm on iOS 7. So I'm going to click Friday the 18th, all right? And I click into my calendar here. And I scroll down here to the 18th. Wait, let me close my calendar here. Hang on a second. Ignore the man behind the green curtain here. Okay. Right here, 6 p.m. I'm going to click this guy. There is that meeting I just set up in Magazine Manager on the company record. It's here on my iPhone. I open it up. Here we go. We're going to talk about stuff. This is our 6 to 7 p.m. meeting. So without anything else that I've done, I have this calendar, Google Calendar, that I normally have set up on my smartphone, on my iPhone. I have it here, specifically iOS 7, Apple product. I have it here. Now, if you're all right, Mark, I've got my iPhone. I've got an iPhone, but I don't have my Google Calendar synchronized or linked on my iPhone. How do I do that? I'm just going to take you real quickly through that, but there's a lot. There are much better videos on YouTube and other places on the web that are going to show you how to do it, but I'm just going to quickly run through how to do it. If you're on your iPad, your iPhone, whatever, go to Settings, and then under Settings, scroll down here to the Mail Contacts and Calendars here. And then under here, you actually have these accounts here. And I have an account. I added my Mirabel Technologies account. This is my Google account. Notice that saying mhurd@magazinemanager.com. I turned off mail, turned off contact. I just turned on calendar. So with that calendar turned on, the native iOS calendar app is going to actually have that calendar available. Now, let's say, well, Mark, I've got my calendar synchronized and everything, but I don't see it, or I see too many calendars. How do I turn on and off calendars? Well, here at the bottom with the calendars option, I'm going to click calendars, and I can turn on and turn off that Mark Hurt. I've got another one I did just through testing, Sync with Magazine Manager. I can show whatever, but this is my main calendar account that I use, and I use this every day for work. I wake up in the morning, I look and see how timely I need to be at work, if I've got a 9 a.m. Appointment or not, and I have this sync, and that's it. That's all there is to it. Have the 18th, have my calendar. I can scroll days, 19th, 20. Here's next week. You know, here's what's going on. I mean, this is all of this that you see here on my calendar in my iPhone is the same stuff that's in my Google Calendar, which is the same stuff that's in my Magazine Manager calendar. Now, I know a lot of people like to use other email and other calendar clients like Outlook or Firebird or stuff like that. I will tell you through some initial testing that if you're going to have this calendar fully synchronized through Outlook, you are going to have to use a third-party tool to have that done. Right now, if I add this calendar to my, and I believe I already have it added, this is my Outlook account. I've got the same M. Hurt at Magazine Manager account right here. I'm going to go to my calendar, and this is this is one of my Google calendars that I have synced in here. Here's the deal. If you just throw this calendar in here, there's some good YouTube videos, there's some good documentation help on the web. If you search for it, you'll find out how to do this. Will you just straight away add this Google Calendar here? I'll tell you right now, it's a read-only calendar. You will see the calendar, you will see your events, but it's read-only. To make it fully synchronized like it is with Magazine Manager, like it is on my iPhone, you're going to have to do your own research, and you're going to have to have your IT staff help you out and find out what's going to be the best way to synchronize this with this. But it is possible. It is definitely possible, but it's not. It's going to take a little bit of setup work, a little bit of time on your part to do that. So just to let you know, it's there, it's possible. And that is something, though, that part of it you're going to have to work with your internal IT staff to figure out the best way to implement that. Google Calendar integration